Hey there, welcome to Mindful X 365. I'm Justin McBride, and this is the daily series where we consider quotes, concepts, and contradictions that can support us on a journey of experiencing life mindfully. Today's consideration comes to us from Dale Carnegie's book entitled How to Make Friends and Influence People. The quote, or rather title of the chapter is, "If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive." Again, if you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. Before diving into today's consideration, let's take a few intentional breaths. Closing my eyes, making sure my head is placed above my shoulders and I'm sitting upright. I'm going to take my first intentional breath in for 5 seconds. And out. Breathe in. Breathe out. If you're joining me on your own for 2 more. Thank you for joining me. If you joined me for that breath, if not, I invite you to find a moment throughout your day or many moments to practice a few intentional breaths. I'll remind us again of our consideration of the day, which is from Dale Carnegie and his book entitled How to Make Friends and Influence People. The concept or chapter is entitled, If You Want to Gather Honey, Don't Kick Over the Beehive. I really enjoy that. From the title of the book, which I have not read, it's now on my list. In researching different considerations, I have also found a ton of new books that I want to read so I can fully consider them in their totality. But it takes a lot longer to read a book than consider a quote. I do understand from the title of the book, or I think I understand, that it is a little more intentional or focused than I might perceive the quote in being more general kind of concept, because it is focused on, making friends, influencing people. But I think it's still fair to zoom out a little bit and look at that quote in a more broad sense and maybe extrapolate and use that as it relates to our own life and our own internal challenges or opportunities that we have. A lot of times in life, we just want to muscle through it, right? We just want to force our way through whatever unpleasant or unplanned for thought, emotion, or ailment happens to rear its face, whether it's ugly or pretty. We want to go full steam ahead. And sometimes that might be appropriate, but sometimes if you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. And by that, I think what Dale is trying to say, and I say Dale like we're BFFs, but I don't know Dale, but I feel like we're on a first name basis because I get your quote. I look at the beehive as opportunity. Opportunity to extract some delicious honey. Opportunity to get attacked by a swarm of angry bees. Opportunity to walk on by it, right? There's different things that can come out of our response or reaction to the beehive. If we want to gather honey, though, and we want to extract some kind of a sweet or positive benefit from the beehive, kicking it over isn't really going to get us there. Because one, we could get attacked by a ton of angry bees. We might not. Maybe there's not even any angry bees in there. Maybe they've all left and they've moved along. Maybe for some reason we kick it over and they decide, we'll just let it be. I don't think that's super likely most of the time, but who knows? But if we kick it over, even if there's no bees inside to attack us, extracting the honey is going to be much more of a pain, right? the opportunity is going to be a lot less than if we were to carefully remove each individual section from the beehive. Now, how fast we remove each section, it's going to depend on, I guess, the protective layers that we approach this with. Let's expand this metaphor out a little bit to think about the bee suit. If you have a bee suit on, or if you have these skills and the practice of maybe a meditation or mindful breathing, Tai Chi, yoga, or some other kind of wellness practice that can prepare you for situations like that, that maybe have the potential to be a little bit more dangerous, metaphorically speaking, then maybe you can move a little bit faster, right? Maybe you don't have to be as gentle. Maybe you have the experience of knowing how to remove each section quickly without losing lots of honey, without agitating all of the bees inside. So, as you approach life and as you think about the positive benefits that lie in the opportunities that you see, ask yourself, is it appropriate to kick over the beehive? Or should I maybe take a few moments to consider, to become aware of the situation, and to be aware of your capability of handling the situation with the protective layers that you have? Again, it's not being judgmental about the protective layers that you do or you don't have, or the experience that you do or don't have to approach the situation, and not being judgmental about the situation itself. It's just being aware of the situation and aware of what you're bringing to it. Thanks for stopping by for today's consideration. If you want to keep the conversation going, or you have a perspective that you'd like to offer as it relates to this quote, head on over to www.mindfulx.net. This is the MindfulX community that is free to sign up, free from advertisements, where you can share ideas, find different tips and techniques on mindfulness practices, mindful movement, everyday mindfulness, or just have an intentional place to scroll without being pulled in one direction or another from algorithms that aren't designed to help you be more mindful as you experience life. Again, I'm Justin McBride, and remember, mindfulness is only a few intentional breaths away. If you'd like to join me for a little intentional breathing, I'm going to do a little bit on my own right now. So I'll get us started and then continue on as long as you like. With my eyes closed, being aware of how my body is positioned, whether you are sitting on the floor or on a cushion or in a chair, perhaps you're standing or lying down. Make sure you're doing so in a comfortable yet dignified manner. Take your first breath in, feeling the breath as it passes over your tongue and fills your lungs. Feel your chest rise and fall with each breath. Wherever it is that you feel your breath the most, stay there for a moment. If you find yourself lost in thought, it's okay. Just remember, it's like a GPS navigation system. Sometimes we need to recalculate and bring ourselves back to our breath. It's not always about starting from the very beginning and getting exactly where we're going on the path that we planned on from the very beginning without any detours, but being aware of the detours as they come along and be aware of our ability to recalculate and turn our attention back to the breath.